and Jesus.
Sounds about right. Welcome to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. I'm Pep Fernandez. Jeff Gorman in the house. Jeff, we got to speed the show up. You got to get out of here. You got big plans.
Yeah, I'm extra salty today. I got a 1-year-old birthday party. We were just talking about my kid's.
That sounds like fun, man.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna. My wife's doing this luau. I'm getting yelled at this morning. My son's not gonna remember this party. There's gonna be a million people in the house.
Hold on, you just got out of the doghouse.
Yeah, well,
you're going right back in, bro.
Well, I'm sure she's not listening today. If she is,
she's too busy to be listening.
I apologize for yelling at you before I left, and I'll pick up a pineapple for the tables.
Because the whole luau, the Hawaiian theme.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. I'm so excited. Woohoo!
So for Jeff's sake, we're going to keep the show moving. We're going to have a lot of fun. We got Redlands East Valley head coach Kurt Bruich in the house. Talk a little Rev football. Tyree Washington.
World champion.
Yeah, world-class. He's the 400 meters. I don't know if that's sprint. It's somewhere between sprint and long distance. We'll ask him maybe.
Yeah, and he's a local legend, La Sierra guy. He's
NFL guy as well, right?
He's all over the place.
Dabbled in football and track, so we'll talk Chargers and also the 2028 Olympic Games coming to Los Angeles. So
coming back 11 years.
And we also got our high school football preseason rankings we're going to reveal.
We do.
Not a big shock, Rev, in our rankings.
Always in the rankings.
We did a point system. So we'll show you how the points worked out.
It was like the FBS or whatever.
Kind of. We put all these numbers into a computer, and it cranked out the rankings. So no-brainer. We'll tell you Centennial was number one. It's not a huge shock. But some of the other stuff, it was interesting to see how the rankings came out. And, of course, we're probably way off, and they'll change by the time we hit week 1, but still kind of fun to do. Way too early to do rankings, but we do them anyways.
Always.
It's all brought to you by Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by their excellent customer service. Great prices. Check them out off Alessandro Boulevard. Just took my car, oil change, wiper blades, did the whole thing. My wife was so excited because we actually had rain this week, and I had the new blades on the car, so she was excited. Nice. Now I got to take hers and do the same thing. Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, still going strong. Letterman's jackets, Jeff's cups, baseball gear, KenSportingGoods.com. Phantom House Studio. Nobody has better sports edits than Phantom House Studio. Get a great photo shoot for the athlete in your life, maybe senior pictures, wedding photos, and boost performance training. Athletes of all levels. Check out Coach Ray Bass from Centennial High School. I think he's now coaching at Servite, from what I heard.
He's at Servite?
He might be.
Orange County
We might have to have him call in, yeah.
Come on.
But Ray Bass out there at Boost Performance Training, baseball, football. I think he's even doing lacrosse now. So if you want to train, check out our good friend Ray Bass at Boost Performance Training. Right now, we're continuing it's not even summer anymore. It's like our fall high school football world tour. We've had a bunch of teams come through. We've been checking out a lot of teams. Intern Cullen was at Centennial last night, checked out the Huskies. I got up early, not too early. I know Kurt Bruich likes to get up early, but not too early. But they had a morning practice at Redlands East Valley. Welcome to the show, head coach Kurt Bruich. And you had 5 a.m. week, right?
Yes, sir.
But I didn't roll until like 8:30 or so. But
nice. But I didn't notice.
Yeah, as he's rolling his eyes. That's a good. It's a good mention that we're live and amplified right now on our Inland Sports channels. You can check out Kurt live in the Inland Sports studio right now. But Coach, you like the early practices, right? Just kind of weed out the guys who don't want to be there.
Yeah, it's a 1 week deal that we start basically what we call our preseason workouts, and we go at 5 a.m. We get in the weight room. We're out on the field about 7. We'd like to get out earlier, but we don't have lights. We don't have a stadium, so we do what we can. And it does. Kids don't want to get up and get there, then they basically cut themselves.
There you go. You don't have to do it. Just weed out the week. Redlands East Valley, always a traditional powerhouse, state champion. Obviously a CIF championship in that same season as well. Coach, when you look at this year's team, I was out there yesterday, a lot of new faces, but you got some guys coming back. How would you kind of size up this year's team?
Very talented, very inexperienced. We're having to go back and teach situational football, things that we would expect kids to know. They don't understand, and they've been in the program a while, so it's head scratching. But we're getting it down. Our preseason now is going to be very important for us. It's tough, but we're going to have to use it to teach situational football.
Now, the one question mark I guess everyone's looking at is quarterback, because you had Armando Herrera, 4-year starter, over 10,000 passing yards, over 100 career touchdowns, state champ, CIF champ. He did all those things, but now you have to find a new quarterback. I saw several guys seeing action yesterday.
It's still a question mark. We have Hunter Harp, who has been in our program for 4 years, Blake Gendon, who's been in our program for 4 years. They're both seniors. And then we got a transfer come in from Grand Terrace, Miles Herrera. Kind of ironic, Herrera last name. First thing
no relation, right?
Yeah, that's what everyone
Keep
asks.
the same jersey.
Are they related? And they're no, they're not related at all. But 3 great kids, all talented, and they're fighting for the job. And they do some really good things, all 3 of them, and then they do some really bad things at times. So we'll figure it out. We have a few more weeks to get it going. And obviously, you know what they say, the cream rises to the top. So we'll figure out which one's the best one, and they'll run the show.
Now, you have week 0 off. You start in week 1. So you have a little bit of, I guess, extra time, maybe an additional week if you want to look at it that way. When you build your schedule, do you like playing 10 weeks in a row? I know some coaches like to throw a bye in there somewhere.
I do. This is me. We've never really had a bye, but I feel like that's a wasted week of practice. You can only be, in helmets at most running around. So I don't know that I get it that people want to heal the kids, but in our world, they got to play through pain. They got to play through injury. That's part of football. I mean, that's just the way I know it. So that's what we do.
Got Kurt Bruich here, head coach of Redlands East Valley on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. I always love your non-league schedule. So here's who you have this year. Etiwanda, Upland, and of course Heritage. And those are 3 tough games that will kind of build you guys up going into that Citrus Belt League schedule. When you go out and find teams to play, obviously you don't shy away from anyone. Talk about how you find great teams to get you guys ready for CBL action.
I feel like not only we want to play talented teams, but we want to play teams with great coaching staffs, because there's times where we don't know what our weaknesses are, and good coaching staffs and great talent will expose our weaknesses. And we want that. We want them to see, because when we get in a game, I mean, we bring a heavy name, so people want to beat us, and their game plan is gonna be on point, and we expect that, and we like that, because when we go back and watch the film, we're like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see we were weak in this position, or I didn't see that this was going to happen with this scheme. So it's a great way to basically win or lose, learn
as you get ready for CBL play.
Yeah, I've kind of circled that Heritage game. You got Coach Broach.
Oh man,
I mean, a really good coach who has never
lost. It's like
lost.
a CIF championship game in non-league play.
It is. I mean, like you said, a good mind that you're going to bounce your team against. You're going to learn a lot. But that's a game right there that we're going to look at and go, wow, that's a big one right there.
And we've never been to Heritage, but we hear it.
Oh, it rocks.
It rocks. Yeah, that's what we hear. I'm excited to go there, and it's good to be on the underdog side of things. With the fans going crazy and against you.
Hostile environment.
Hostile. Yes, I didn't want to say that, but
it is.
That's what I hear. I hear it's a great environment. We look forward to it. Plus, it'll get us ready for our big rivalry game with the RHS. Because we are at Redlands this year, and they pack their stands, and they give it to us pretty good.
Yeah, it's standing room only. There's no
at Heritage.
Yeah, it's a sea of red or whatever color they choose. It's fun to go to a game, even if you're an opposing team. You're going to get your guys are going to be fired up playing it. It's just a great environment.
Yeah, I'd imagine, Coach, when you have, let's say, a packed house and you're on the road, you guys get up for that too, right? Like, oh my gosh, this place is packed. They're going nuts. We got to make a statement. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost brings you to another level.
In the past, we've always enjoyed it. You know, this is a new team, inexperienced. Who knows? They may shut down. I mean, we'll see what happens. Every year's different. So my hope is that they embrace it and they just keep playing hard.
I was gonna say you've had 4 years of Armando. 4 years. That's 50 plus games. That he's really
that's all the position you have to worry about.
Yeah, I mean now it's a whole new look for you guys, and guys have been really you've been used to that for 4 years. Now you got something new.
Yeah, it's been comfortable. I'll tell you that. Comfortable is the best way to say it. Hunter Harp has won us a couple games when Armando had a concussion or this or that was happening. But our scheme has to change. We can't be the Armando show anymore. We have some great players, and they're going to get the ball. The ball will be in their hands instead of at times the quarterbacks.
So Armando now just named the starting quarterback at San Bernardino Valley College. We're excited. We had a chance to break the news on Twitter. Are you going to get a chance maybe to go see him out there?
I hope to, definitely. He was at practice about a day or two ago, so he still keeps close. We're still close. He's still in touch, so I would like to make as many of his games as I can. Hopefully, if it goes right, I really believe in Coach Elgadas. I really believe that he's has Armando's best interest in mind. I don't know that Armando will have to be there very long.
Yeah, he's got a great. Algadas has a great track record of these quarterbacks he's coached in the past and putting up huge numbers and Division I scholarships. So I think he's in good hands as well. So Armando's gone. So is Jalen Phillips, your star defensive player, man. And everything I see on social media, UCLA's falling in love with Jalen Phillips. I mean, probably no surprise to you.
Yeah, he's easy to fall in love with. He does everything right. He's like a mother's dream. You know, he's someone who you want your daughter bringing home.
Yeah.
He's that good of a kid.
So he's at UCLA, Armando's at SBVC, but you do have some guys coming back. I'm talking about Gabriel Clark, Billy Bowens, who I interviewed both those guys yesterday. You can find those interviews coming up on IEMG TV on our next episode this upcoming week. So when you look to lean on certain players who have been through it, I'm sure those are two guys, right, that you can lean on.
Yeah, and then Isaiah Holiness as well.
Yes.
He's a junior. Those three kids will have the ball most of the time in their hands. It will be no secret because they can make plays. So we're excited about them. Now we have to block for them, you know, and we have to have other guys step up and contribute. But offensively, those three kids are as good as we've had.
We got Redlands East Valley head coach Kurt Bruich here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, sizing up Rev season as they get ready for their Week 1 opponent at Awanda. When you look at the CBL, you've won 8 straight. And when I was talking to Billy and Gabriel, they both pointed out, like, and you did too, listen, they don't want to be the team that ends the streak in terms of league championships in a row. In fact, I think Billy even said, you know, growing up in that Mentone area, he looked up to those Rev teams, and now he's a part of them. And he's like, man, not on my watch. Like, he wants to keep that thing going because school's not real old, but you guys have already built a lot of tradition with that football program. Is there pressure, expectations in terms of just winning another CBL championship?
I think the pressure lies within the kids and the alumni. At the end of the day, you know, for me, wins and losses are great, you know, but more important is did the kid come in to our program and leave a better man? That to me is what's most important. And sometimes it takes a streak being broke, or it takes a loss here or there, or it takes certain things in order to help the growing experience. And so, you know, we don't really talk about, you know, the streak or anything to that nature until it's like right up to that end, you know, till it's maybe that last game where 2 teams are playing for it. I'm kind of getting to the whole end of our season here, because at the end of the season we play Cajon, and I see them as way more talented than us, and if anybody should be favorite, it should be them this year, and they should be the ones with the pressure because they're a very talented football team. Jaden Daniels is an amazing kid and quarterback. So, and he's been in the program now 3 years. So, to me, Cajon's the team to beat. And when we get to that point, hopefully we're in a position to play that game and to talk about the streak.
Funny you bring that up because I was just remembering that was a crazy game with Cajon last year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I mean, we went up big. It looked like a blowout.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Jalen Phillips gets hurt, breaks his hand. We pull him out of the game, and everything that could have went wrong from that point on, and everything that could have went right for them. Somehow we still had Armando, and he pulled us through at the end.
So you guys won it, and it's on the road, right? It was at Cajon. So you'll get them at, well, your place, and I say that in air quotations this year. But yeah, Cajon looks to be loaded. A lot of D1 guys. I see him on Twitter. You know, this guy got offered by UCLA or Arizona, so they got some dudes as well. We got Kurt Bruich here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. How's your dad doing?
My dad is doing great. He recently had his knees replaced. It's funny because for years he walked almost like the Penguin, you know, from the old Batman movie or series. And then he got his knees fixed, and now he's straight up. The first time I saw him with pants, they were like 2 or 3 inches too short. I mean, that tells you how bowed, tell you how bowed his knees were. His knees are fixed, and it's funny, we tell him, if your voice ever comes back, we won't even recognize you. We won't know who you are, man. So
brand new man.
You know, he's yelled so much, he's got that real raspy voice, and if it comes back, I'm telling you, most of us will be like, who is this guy? We have no clue who he is.
He'll be running marathons.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, he's one of our favorites, and we had him on. Remember, Jeff, we were talking about that. It was the Hall of Fame. Was it CIF Hall of Fame?
Came in and told us some funny stories and told us some great ones off the air, which we can't say on the air, but it was a good time.
Well, I was worried about him when he actually retired because I thought, oh my, you know, he's such a high anxiety, high intense guy that when he got away from football, I thought, oh man, you know, these kind of guys don't make it long, you know, their hearts fail, whatever. He is more happy now than I've ever seen him, and I actually, like, he's fun to hang out with, you know. I don't have to worry about getting chewed out or anything like that. He's actually fun to hang out with. He's super relaxed, and He's a great man.
When you guys hang out, what do you do? I mean, is it centered around football? Like, oh, let's go watch a game or watch a game on TV. Let's talk football.
It depends. So recently, actually at Father's Day, we were hanging out. I think he had a few too many, and all of a sudden he got online and he bought us all Garth Brooks tickets. So we went to Garth Brooks last Saturday night. Really? My wife doesn't know one country song, but she went, and we had a great time. Garth Brooks, great performer. But I mean, that's the last thing we all did together. You know, with my sister and my brother, and you know, everybody in the family went. We had a great time. So I mean, it just depends. You know, it always depends. But the one thing you know about my dad is not only his immediate family, his extended family. We have a huge extended family. He has love for everybody, mad love. Him and my mom are like the grandparents, the parents of all of us.
I'm going to go drinking with your dad.
I know. Who do you want to see, Jeff?
If Zach Brown's coming to town, you can get him on that. Yeah, you can definitely get him on that one.
I'd be cool with friends in low places, man. That's my wheelhouse. Speaking of family, so your nephew Blake Braun, who played football for you at Redlands East Valley, just got married. Who did he marry? Tell us about the importance of that.
He married a girl named Lindsay Stockton. Her father is the NBA legend, John Stockton.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Wait, who was there? Was there any other like NBA stars?
You know,
I mean, like,
I don't want to embarrass myself, but because I'm not a big NBA follower, so I'm sure there were people there. But I mean, there were some tall dudes there, but I didn't know them and I didn't introduce myself to them, so I have no clue, honestly.
But some of your guys were there. You said like Kylie Fitz,
in the wedding.
Ellis boys.
Kylie Fitz was the best man for Blake, and then Jamal and Jared Ellis were in the wedding as well. Tanner Shreve was in the wedding, one of the Shreve brothers, and the middle one who played with Blake. So there were some guys. You know, he had some Montana State buddies in the wedding as well. But you know, so we go to the wedding to start with, and it's at Gonzaga University at their esteemed chapel. I didn't realize Gonzaga was such a like Jesuit Catholic place, because you would figure it had to be Saint this or Saint that, but it's super Jesuit Catholic. So the ceremony was beautiful, and the church was beautiful. And afterwards, we get on these buses. I'm like, okay, where are we going next? We're going to John Stockton's house. I'm like, sweet. You got to be kidding me, man. And so we get there, and of course he's got like bushes covering his front, his front of his house. So you can't really, it's private. And they have cocktail hour set up in his front yard. There's 300 people plus at the wedding, and we all fit in his front yard. There's tables and bars and all this, hors d'oeuvres being served. And I'm thinking, man, this is really cool. And you just look at his house, and you're like, I'm at John Stockton's house. This is
the
awesome.
assist God right there.
Yes. Speaking of that, Twitter blew up. One of Blake's buddies put on Twitter, John Stockton with one more assist passes a dime to Blake Braun. It was a beautiful comment. And afterwards we go to the backyard. We take about a third of the backyard. Like I said, the house was big. It was beautiful. And Blake's Blake's in love, and Lindsay's a great girl. She actually plays basketball in
big
Spain.
Surprise, right? She plays
basketball. She's a professional basketball player in Spain. So my poor nephew gets to go overseas in Spain and live for the next year, rent free, and just be a player's husband.
He's a kept man.
He is a kept man.
Good for him, though. He landed on his feet just fine.
Yes, he did.
Well, congrats to Blake Braun as we circle back around to Rev football real quick. We're running out of time here in our first segment with head coach Kurt Bruich here, but we're excited about this Rev team. CBL is going to be tough. Like you mentioned, Cajon's going to be there. We talked about this Heritage team that you're going to see in non-league play, but when you look at the playoff division in Division 2, looking way down the road, and I know that's probably goal number one is just get to the postseason, but when you look at the playoffs, it's some of those. I mean, you played Great Oak, I think, last year in the opening round. That was a battle. You got Norco in there. Of course, Heritage, some of the other local
and we got Upland, too.
Oh, Upland
game 2 who got bumped down.
That's right.
That Calabasas team that, has 4,000 transfers.
The one from D5 to D2.
To D2, yes. So it's a stronger division. In fact, as I look at the rankings, we're down at the very bottom, and I'm like, man, this might not be one of our stronger teams. So I hope we get in the playoffs, and I hope we're not the 16th seed going in, because that's kind of where we're ranked right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as good a program as we've had, it's like, hey, congratulations, you're going in ranked 16. I hope you make the playoffs. So it's definitely this new playoff equity. It's hard to make it seem equitable for the better programs around.
Even those first-round games are going to be tough with this competitive equity stuff. Let me ask you this, because I've asked other coaches the same thing, that when you schedule non-league games, do you think about, like, for example, Heritage, like, oh, that's another D2 school. We might see them in the playoffs. I mean, because it could change from year to year a little bit.
ultimately, I would like not to play division opponents.
Or
but
Upland, same thing.
Yeah, but you can't. You don't know what's going to happen anymore. So, and you don't want to play too low because then you keep getting knocked down, which I don't know that's a great thing. That's not who I always want to play the best teams, even in the playoffs. If we win the playoffs, I want it to be like we earned it, not where we're playing in a lower division that we didn't really belong. So overall the playoff thing for me, it and people would argue this, but to me it favors programs who haven't succeeded, the everybody gets a trophy motto.
Yeah.
If that team has a ripe team, they're going to easily win their division.
Yeah.
And that's great, but again, us at top who are just fighting to basically get out of the first round.
Yeah. I remember last year we had like King and Riverside barely made the playoffs.
Yes.
But they were Division 5, and they went all the way to the semifinals. It was just that sneak into the playoffs, in a tough league, just get in there. And because they're in D5, I mean, they almost went all the way.
Right, and they had seen way better teams in the Big 8 the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
And they might not have won a game in the Big 8, 1 or 2, but the reality is they got to playoffs, and they were like, man, these teams aren't as good as what we've been facing the last few weeks,
And there's some schools out there, I won't name them, but you have a great class or two in a row, and they're like, "Oh, you're Division 2 or 3 or 4," and then all those kids graduate, and it's like, "Whoa, they're way out of their league."
Yep.
But because they look at the last 2 years, they're kind of stuck.
Yeah, the competitive equity thinks you're going to have sandbaggers, like you say, guys that are going to schedule down and hope to drop down themselves.
But I think that hurts them, doesn't it? Like
it does. I look at those kind of programs. You kind of, I hate to be critical, but you giggle at them and you go, "Hey, just play the best you can."
Yeah.
With the guys you have. So, yes, I know. I know there are a few sandbaggers out there.
Do you try to figure out the playoff format in terms of like who gets in and playing a good team's worth this many points and beating a bad team?
I don't, because in our division there's only 18 teams in it, and you could see right away there's 2 teams that are 3 and 7. Everybody else is somehow going to make it. So it's not really hard as far like formula wise, but it's hard as far as who are we going to get? Last year I'm like, okay, where are we seated? Who wants to play a 5-5 Notre Dame team or a 5-5 St. Bonaventure that we've never beat? We've lost to them 4 years, basically in a row, and now we're gonna have to face someone like that in the playoffs? Are you kidding me?
Because you're a league champ,
yeah, right?
And they're like maybe a third place
they're a wild
team,
card.
right?
Yeah, they're a wild card.
Yeah.
At 5-5, but we've never beat them. So. It's just wow. It's just how you deal with it.
Yeah, coaches would ask me like, "Oh, so where are we going to end up?" I have no idea. You're gonna have to wait. I tried to figure it out. I don't know. You're gonna have to, like you said, at least if there's only 18 schools, you can kind of be like, "Okay, I know who's going to get in. I know who's not," and then go from there. So, Coach, we always appreciate the time. Love the new Adidas gear, by the way. Appreciate
Thank you. Yeah. Interesting.
I might
rebrand.
You got the Adidas hat on too, I see.
I just want to know, are you going to dress crazy this year? Are we going to see any crazy attire from you?
I never dress crazy.
No red pants.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not crazy. That's normal.
Yeah, I say my conservative world. Red pants is crazy. the big, the buckle, the red pants.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean that's
any new wrinkles in the wardrobe?
No, not at all. It's a first year. I got to kind of build the wardrobe back. So I got to build it all with Adidas stuff. So, but yeah, I'll still have the golf pants, in different colors. But I don't see it as crazy. Just coordinating.
I would like to see some red patent leather shoes out there.
I got them.
You do?
I got them. Yeah, I got them.
Sweet.
Already there.
Nice.
Is this kind of like your idea, or does your wife have some input in this?
No, it's just what I feel comfortable in. I was a shorts guy for a long time, and then went to being a plaid shorts guy, and then I decided as I got a little older, it's time to be a little more professional. And then when I saw the red pants, I was just like, I gotta have those. I gotta have those.
What does your dad think?
He doesn't. If he thinks, he doesn't say it. I mean, we're talking about a guy.
He's old school.
He wore acid wash Levi's to every game. My dad's the most superstitious guy you've ever met. Same underwear, same pants, same socks, same shoes. In fact, we have a pair of his shoes bronzed in his house. These old spot builts. They have holes in them. I mean, in the toes, so big, and he still wore them to every game.
Are you serious?
Until my senior year, we won the CIF championship. Then finally, he put them down.
He retired them.
Yeah, and then we had them bronzed, and we put them on a plaque and all that kind of stuff. I'll take a picture of it when I'm at his house. I'll send it to you.
Please.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. Best of luck this season. Thanks you for always making time for us, and best of luck as you get ready for that Week 1 against Etiwanda game.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's the great Kurt Bruich from Redlands East Valley here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE. When we come back, More high school football chatter, and of course, Tyree Washington coming up to talk a little Chargers football, as well as the Summer Olympics coming to Los Angeles. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
iHeartRadio does.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I'd say that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
100. That's 1-800-311-4200.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Guys!
Fellas, you think we could listen to the radio?
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM, brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken's Sporting Goods, and Boost Performance Training. Quick reminder, every Friday night live on IEMG, we've got all your high school football scores, highlights, and interviews. Week 0 is August 25th. That's when we'll kick everything off, so I hope you'll join us for that. But, Jeff, we're going to kind of give everyone an appetizer into the football season because on August 18th, which is kind of like the big scrimmage night for a lot of those Week 0 games, we're going to be live at the brand new football stadium at San Bernardino Valley College as Cajon will take on Corona and Apple Valley, three-way scrimmage to kind of get their season going. We'll have that live on IEMG as well. So we got a lot of things going on.
That'll be fun. We get to see Corona, the new look Corona.
Ron Gehringer. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they're going to turn some heads this year, that they've got a lot of talent.
They could have one of the best quarterbacks in the country is what everybody's saying, but he hasn't played. He didn't get a lot of playing time at Centennial, but he's going to have to show.
Sophomore, right? Shane Illingsworth.
Yeah, he looks like Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
He can throw the ball.
Big, strong kid. So the next 10 minutes or so before we get into Tyree Washington, we are going to unveil our Inland Sports Show preseason football rankings. Now, it's probably way too early to do rankings, and we're probably going to be way off, but we do them anyways, right?
Because we have to. And it's good chatter.
It's good chatter, you know.
Yes.
Listen, we're not experts, but we act like one on the radio, so we're going to try to at least give you guys an idea of what we're thinking, at least here on the Inland Sports Show.
Yeah, and I think we saw at least 16 games last year, so I think we know a little bit.
Oh, more than 16 games.
I mean, I was physically at many games last year.
Yes.
And it was driving me bonkers, but I got to see a lot of teams.
Between all of us, we've seen a lot of high school football.
That's true.
We've seen a lot of summer 7-on-7, which isn't real football. I know, don't freak out there. There's no helmets, there's no pads, there's no linemen. Don't freak out, but we've seen a lot of 7-on-7. We've been to some summer workouts. So without further ado, if you're watching us live and amplified, we're going to bust up the rankings right here on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. No big surprise, Centennial checks in at number 1. And we did a point system. So if you're looking at the rankings and you're looking at the points, we put all this information into a computer. It crunches the numbers and it spits these things out.
Beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, boop, boop.
It's exactly like that.
And it squirts it out.
So Centennial. Is that what it does?
That's it. Yeah, there we go. That's the noise it makes.
Is that what it sounds like?
Exactly. That's what the computer sounds like when it squirts it out.
Someone might be looking at the rankings and thinking, so...
The Evil Empire is number 1 again.
Okay, so Centennial's number 1 with a perfect 48 points. So 48 would be like a perfect score. It's like, you know, Bobby or Cullen going to school and getting 100% on their test.
And that wouldn't happen. They're dummies.
So real quick, let me run down the rankings, and then we'll break it down and see if there's anything that we think is absurd or a team that's missing that should be in the rankings. So Centennial number 1, Murrieta Valley, Heritage, Vista Murrieta, Roosevelt, the Rancho Verde, followed by Norco, Redlands East Valley, Citrus Hill, Cajon, and Paloma Valley. And I know what you're thinking, Pep, it's the grade 8 and 4 more. That's the rankings. Well,
it is. We
had all these ties. We've never had this before. That's why it's so wacky. So go ahead and do your sound because it all backfired on us. So that's the grade 8, even though there's a lot more than 8 teams. Here's the 4 more, in no particular order. Great Oak, Corona, Valley View, Santiago, and Yucaipa. So there you go. Maybe we got it right. Maybe we got it wrong. Jeff, let me start with you real quick. Anything glaring that we messed up on, or I should say the computers, when they squirted out?
Well, I think early in the year, if you look at the schedules of guys, I think Roosevelt has a pretty good shot to go undefeated going into league, other than maybe could be a hiccup versus Servite.
That's going to be tough.
But, you know, Roosevelt's is gonna win again like they did last year. They just have a big bullseye on their back. But I do think my dark horse is going to be Corona because it's a new offense. You have at least 10 new athletes and a good coach over there that has coached against these guys for years. So I think Corona is my dark horse. I think Heritage is going to always pummel and beat up guys. But I am picking Paloma Valley because I always do every year until Heritage loses. So go Paloma!
Well, it's funny you say that because if I had to pick a dark horse in here that might climb the rankings,
would that be?
I'm also going Paloma. When I put in the numbers and it squirted out the rankings, I thought Paloma might be higher because they got the Heritage defensive coordinator, and Heritage hangs their hat on that defense. So if you can get Paloma Valley to play that kind of defense and score all those points, they're going to be tough.
Even if it's
really tough.
Even if it ain't Broach.
If it ain't Broach.
I still think Paloma Valley's going to get them.
All right, let's bring in intern Bobby and intern Cullen into the mix here. They've seen a lot of football. In fact, they were playing high school football not too long ago.
They did.
They were part of the game. Colin, you look at the rankings. Did we get it right, or where do you think we got it wrong?
Okay, I just personally feel that Vista Murrieta is drastically underrated.
Well, we got him at 4.
What?
Personally, I think Vista Murrieta would kick Heritage and Murrieta Valley's Heinies, but that's a personal opinion.
Oh,
Wow.
man. What do you know about Vista Murrieta?
Salty. I'm marinating right now.
Yeah.
So, innocent until proven guilty. We'll see.
Well,
But Vista Murrieta, I was hurt.
Tied with Roosevelt at 4. They had the same amount of points. They both had 36 points on our
They
points
lose,
system.
they lose a quarterback who's playing at University of Hawaii now. How do you fill that gap? There you go.
They got tons of guys.
There you go.
All right, let's go to Intern Bobby. Intern Bobby.
I think the list is pretty solid. After seeing the Roosevelt guys last week too, the size, I was like, dang, those guys are probably going to be pretty good.
See, yeah.
I was like looking up to those guys. So I think that I think maybe even Roosevelt above Vista, but I like the list. Murrieta Valley definitely. I think it's going to be a contender.
They're loaded
Wait
again.
a sec, though.
They look.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
Jeff's salty.
There's
He's
somebody. Yeah, I'm marinating in some salt juice right here.
Let's see what the
You
computer
have.
says.
So you don't back off your pick here. You had Santiago going pretty high.
Was that was
That's
Bobby.
We blamed
That was a Bobby vote for Santiago.
That was a sleeper.
There it is. There it is. So we
Because-
got it on tape. We got the sleeper. Bobby called.
They're in a tough league. Can't deny that. They're a great league. And, and every time I played them, they always were really good, so I had to give them some credit.
Where's
Colton.
Where's Colton?
Yeah.
Colton's in the mix there.
point.
Yeah,
They're
they were just outside the rankings.
Yes.
They were just outside the rankings.
Let's see.
But speaking of, I'll ask you guys, is there a team not on this list that you think, you know what, the computer, when it squirts out the rankings a little bit a little farther down the road, we might see them? For example, for me, I'm thinking maybe like an Aquinas might be on that list.
I have 2. I have Aquinas was one of mine because I like the big Germans, the big I drive Erfunds, and Hillcrest.
Oh, he threw me a curveball there.
I think Hillcrest is going to run the table. I think they're going to be a CIF champion. I think they're going to be River Valley League champs.
But here's the deal. That might be the kiss of death because you picked Ramona last year.
I did Fazio, and I threw Fazio out of a job.
He's our boy. It's Jeff's fault.
They didn't even make the playoffs. They're ranked #1 half the year. But I think Hillcrest is going to win a CIF championship.
That's bold. That's
Bold
spicy.
predictions.
All right, intern Colin, give us a team not on this list that once the computer squirted out, you might see him in a couple of weeks.
Martin Luther King.
King High School. They had a great run to the
look at
semis
McCarthy
last year.
now.
Yeah, Pat McCarthy, the head coach.
I think he's a defensive guy. They can't score. Ooh, salty.
Salty, yeah.
Salty. No, that's a good one. I agree.
It is a good one.
Jeff, defense wins championships.
No,
and you know
defense are underpaid guys that drive bikes instead of cars.
You're talking to a basketball coach
Yeah.
who's like, if we score 100 points, we don't have to play defense. We'll
Just put
score
it this
100
way.
points.
Quarterbacks drive Ferraris. Offensive linemen drive bikes. Defensive linebackers, they drive a nice sports car. Wide receivers drive Rolls Royces, and no one touches them.
That's true, right?
There you go.
The divas.
Yeah,
the
divas.
receivers of the group.
Receivers, wimps.
All right, intern Bobby. Wait, hold on. You're not going to say Elsinore, are you?
No, I want
Okay, because Bobby was the star at Elsinore, so if he said the Tigers, I would be like, okay.
For that one, but after seeing some good passing leagues and stuff, I'm thinking San G possibly.
Yeah.
Their defense was really solid, so I was actually very impressed with them.
Yeah, they're a team that
Defending champs.
Yeah, defending champs.
Yeah, new head coach. They're young, so like they're gonna be good this year. They'll probably be even better next year because they do have a young team. But that San G, that's a good one too.
Great freshman running back last year and receiver.
Yes, yeah, Lorenzo McMillan, who was actually one of the fastest guys in the Southern Section as a freshman in track and field. One of the fastest guys.
Fast guy.
So they're going to be good again. So anyways, one more time, if you're watching us live and amplified right now on the channel, there is our great 8 and 4 more, although there's a lot more than 8 and 4 teams there. Because, again, the computer, when they squirted it out, beep, boop, 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 it didn't work out. We had a bunch of ties. So once they start playing some real games, it'll work itself out.
It will.
It'll work itself out. So don't freak out quite yet. So anyways, when we come back, Tyree Washington,
world champ,
track, NFL, local star, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Broadcaster?
I think so. He's doing something. He's always on the social media circuit.
All right, he does it all. We're going to talk a little NFL and Olympics in Los Angeles with the great Tyree Washington when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports, IE 1350.
And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now.
I beg your pardon?
8 bosses.
8?
8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it.
Thank God. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
With Income Properties. To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-311-4200. Seating is extremely limited. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. That's 1-800-311-4200. That's 1-800-311-4200.
Okay, people, you have to tell me these things, all right? I've been frozen for 30 years, okay? Throw me a frickin' bone here.
We're back to save the galaxy, or at least deliver good sports talk, right?
We can do one of the two.
Brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken Sporting Goods, and Boost Performance Training. Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk track. We got the great Tyree Washington, the pride of La Sierra High School. And Tyree, man, are you excited to see the Olympics coming back to Southern California in Los Angeles?
I'm extremely excited. I mean, it's been a long time since 1984, but I mean, we did so many great things during that time, and I mean, with Carl Lewis winning 4 gold medals, and Edward Moses winning gold, and I mean, it's just like the men's basketball team being coached by Bobby Knight. You got the great MJ, the on the team, Chris Mullin, Patrick Ewing. I mean, of course, I'm extremely excited. I mean, it's long overdue.
So, as a world champion track star, what are some of the places that the sport was able to take you? Because I'm sure you've been all around the world. Where are some of the countries or cities that you've been to because of track?
Well, I mean, track and field is a European sport. I mean, and I know USA Track and Field, they've been working diligently trying to get athletes to be able to compete within the states, and they don't have to go over the pond and to make money. But I mean, I've been in Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, Russia, been out in London, Paris. I mean, out in Japan. I mean, it's like I've been all over the place. Budapest. I mean, you basically it's like you're an entertainer out there. That's a phenomenal singer. You're touring the country. I mean, we're just basically touring the world and just trying to plant our seeds and just make it known to everybody that like, hey, we're dominant and we can battle anywhere in any place.
We're talking with Tyree Washington here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350. Is it safe to say the best track stars in the world, at least most of them, come from the United States? Is that safe to say, or could you argue against that?
No, I mean, I think the past couple of years, it's been really tough for us as far as being a sprint. I mean, we are in the U.S. We're very dominant, but we have kind of taken a back seat to a certain degree because the Jamaicans have they've been producing a great deal. I mean, obviously the great Usain Bolt they're getting ready for the World Championships. The World Championships are going on this month, and we have to take those reins back. We have to take the 100-meter back, the 200-meter back, and in the 400. And I mean, Alison Felix is gonna. I believe she's gonna be a 400-meter world champion. She can do everything well. I don't see anybody that's gonna challenge her. But it's in years past. Yes, we were dominant, but we have kind of taken a back seat to that, and we need to, like I said, we need to get back in the driver's seat and become that captain, that general.
Tyree, this is Gorham. What's happening, buddy? How you doing?
What's going on, Gorham? How
Hey.
you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. Hey, quick question here. I see you all over the social media. You're still involved with the young track athletes. What are you doing with the youth these days with the U.S. program?
Well, I'm doing a lot. I think the big thing for me is I'm always into the training as far as getting these athletes ready for track and field competition with football, with baseball. But I'm really big on the educational side, making sure that I educate these athletes about performance-enhancing drugs and that they put the right things in their body, because there's so many great athletes out there that are phenomenal on the track, and then a lot of times it's not that they're bad individuals, they're bad athletes, they make bad decisions, trying to stuff around other bad people that may push them or provoke them to do what they should not do. But I'm really big on doing symposiums, making sure these athletes are getting their academics right, their care is right, their nutrition is right. So anywhere I can put my hand in across the country, across the world, as far as education, that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, here's my next big question. What do you think about the big Chargers move here to Los Angeles? And are you in touch with any of those guys? And how are you feeling about that move?
I mean, I don't like it. I mean, I think when you're so used to, I'm the type of person that I really don't like change. Adapt to change, but it's just the Los Angeles Chargers just didn't really ring the bell with me. And I was just, and I felt like it's like that's home, and that's always going to be home in San Diego. But to make that move to Los Angeles, I do it from a business standpoint because the market is bigger. I do stay in contact with a lot of athletes, Brayden Oliver. I mean, I've done some stuff with LT, some foundation work and working with kids. But I wish they would have stayed in San Diego, because to me that fan base. It was great. Not to say they should not be successful in Los Angeles, but I was just very comfortable with it. I was going to be at home.
Well, Tyree, I'm with you. I thought the Rams would be a good fit back in Los Angeles. I was hoping the Chargers would stay in San Diego, that they could work out this new stadium, but we got them both. We didn't have football in L.A. for years, and now we got two teams here.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. The New York Giants and the New York Jets, I mean, they're sharing the stadium. They've been doing that for years, and it's like just build this partnership. But I don't know, I guess I'm kind of selfish. I just wanted us to be able to stay in San Diego, and I wanted them to be able to build a brand new stadium in San Diego. If that means they have to revamp or remodel Qualcomm, then so be it. But here we are, and now we're in Los Angeles. It's like water on the bridge, and now we have to just make the best of it and just really value the Rams as far as establishing a solid market. I mean, there's enough for everybody to go around with, but like I said, I mean, I wish if it was my preference, we would have stayed in San Diego.
Also, I want to tell you, I had since we mentioned you on Twitter this week and Instagram, I had Coach Hank Moore call me and say he was going to listen. I had Jacobsmeyer was like, hey, you got to listen to the show today. But I wanted to ask you, we see you now in front of the camera a little bit. Are you becoming a sports broadcaster?
Yeah, so I am. I was a Fox 11 overtime for about a couple years. A big shout out to Rod Cohen, who's the producer, and so I was really just working, just trying to establish myself as a broadcaster, and that's still in the works. I mean, I'm just waiting for the right time, right opportunity, to where I can just find a spot so I can come in and just do what I love to do. I love being on the camera. I love doing the background work. I love interview and whatnot. So if an opportunity comes about, I'm definitely going to be on it.
Well, Tyree, we appreciate the time, brother, and you always have a spot on this show because we know you're a great broadcaster. So if you can always make the time for us, we'd appreciate it. Have a great day, and thank you for talking a little Chargers and also Olympics with us.
Oh, most definitely. You guys have a blessed weekend, and make sure you root for the USA during the World Championship because we're going to need it.
That's it. Tyree Washington. He's the man. Thank you, Tyree.
Take care.
Tyree Washington, the pride of La Sierra High Schools. We're wrapping up another great edition of the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Real quick, Jeff, you're back from San Diego State basketball camp.
I am. I had to work it all week. It was a rough one. Legs are shot.
It was a rough one? You got new knees and you're a brand new man.
Yeah, but
I had Dick Bruich.
I had 4th through 6th graders running me ragged.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but hey, there is some news coming up this week.
What I'm afraid to say anything, so I'll let you. Can you divulge any information on what you might have learned?
Well, I do know this. Matthew Mitchell of Roosevelt High School is going to make a decision.
The co-MVP
of
the
our
Inland Sports Show
is going to make a decision this week, and he's going to let us know where he's going to be playing in the fall. And one of those teams could be
San Diego State. Right?
San Diego State University.
They are in the mix.
They are in the mix. UNLV is in the mix. Utah is in the mix. So we will know this week.
Are we going to break the news on this show?
We are going to break the news on this show.
Man.
We might even get a phone call from Coach Dutcher if he signs with San Diego State.
Could end up in another place.
Yeah, but we don't care about those guys. Those guys are my friends.
We only care about the Aztecs.
Only about the Aztecs. In fact, if you're listening, Mr. Mitchell, you would really look good in red and black. Playing the Mountain West.
Think about it. Kawhi Leonard went there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cranking out NBA guys.
Yeah, local guys. Marcus Slaughter's making $4 million a year over in Barcelona. Come on, go play for the Aztecs.
That's an awesome arena. Tim Hatch took me down there.
Yes, Viejas, great place.
Awesome. Hey, real quick, Bobby, it's your last day.
I might go shed a tear.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He plays football at Pacific in Oregon. Real quick, Bobby, we've got about a minute or two here. Okay. What did you learn by interning here on the Inland Sports Show? Any memories that you'll reflect back on, or anything cool that you might have learned? Because once in a while we do have a good show, but most of the time we're just throwing things together.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great experiences. Definitely sharpened my interviewing skills, going out to the passing leagues. Colin helped me out a lot, like how to shoot better video and stuff. Learned how to be a little bit more salty.
There you go.
A skill I'll take on for a long time.
He's the pro.
And just how to run when craziness happens from Pep and everything. So just keeping everything organized. So that's been a great experience, and I'm so blessed to have it.
Well, when you come back at Christmas, if you come home, or next summer, or whenever, dude, you always got an open door. Take the Inland Sports shirt, wear it up at Pacific. I want you guys to play the U of R. I think you play Cal Lu, right? Or is that Occidental? Okay. So they're in the same, both D3. Maybe you'll play U of R in the playoffs? Who knows? But
If you're watching live on YouTube, they look like they're working at a car wash right now.
Jeff, why didn't you describe their attire real quick? We still have about a minute.
They're
or so.
matching attire. They got shorts. They got deck shoes on.
Wait, hold on. Are those the Ellen DeGeneres shoes?
Yeah, they're similar. Ellen
Those
would
are like
definitely
yours.
wear those. Yes, they're Ellen approved for sure. But they probably have a couple towels hanging out of the back pockets, and they're going to be out there scrubbing cars here shortly.
Jeff, we're going to Walmart to sell cookies outside.
Hey!
Afterwards. That's why we're wearing the matching shirts.
That's all right.
We're going to sell cookies. We're going to get...
Yeah,
Girl Scouts.
We're going to give out pamphlets with our grade 8 and 4 more on there.
Oh yeah! Baby Zika's won! He turned 1. Little Luke Gorham Skywalker turned 1 this week.
And that's the big party today. The luau.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, okay. Woo!
Well, real quick, what was it? Zesty Ellen News? Are they still following you?
Yeah, there's Zesty. Yeah, every now and then, if I wear my shoes, I get something sent to me.
You were tweeting about Ellen and Ellen's.
I had Ellen follow her fan club. It's like,
oh, good Lord. This has been a great show. It's brought to you by Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. Excellent customer service. Great prices. Right off Alessandro Boulevard. So a short little drive from wherever you're at here in the Inland Empire. Ken Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire and the Galactic Empire as we crank up that Star Wars music. Love it. Letterman's jackets, embroidery, sports gear, equipment, KenSportingGoods.com. Phantom House Studio, sports edits, senior pictures, wedding photos, they do it all. PhantomHouse.com for more details. And of course, our dear friend Ray Bass and Boost Performance Training. Also, a very happy birthday to Coach Ray Bass.
Happy birthday!
Check them out. BoostTrainingSystems.com is the website. All sports, whatever sport you're into, they can hook it. Big thanks to Kurt Bruich. Tyree Washington. It's been another great show. Jeff, enjoy your party. Appreciate it. And Bobby, good luck at Pacific this year on the football team.
I'm going to miss you, Bobby. I love you.
One more time, the computer rankings.
Beep, boop, boop, boop.
We'll see you next time on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350.
I just wanted to say that I'm a nerd. And I'm here tonight to stand up for the rights of other nerds.
To